أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious and most merciful. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا من سيئات أعمالنا ومن يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. All praise belongs to Allah. We praise Him and we seek His help and His forgiveness. And we seek refuge with Allah from the evil of our own souls and from our own bad deeds. Whomsoever Allah guides, no one can lead astray. And whoever Allah leads astray, no one shall guide. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, having no partner, and I bear witness that Muhammad is His servant and messenger. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, when the beloved Prophet Ibrahim ﷺ was building the Kaaba, the very first house of worship on this earth, the very first house that would become the holiest place on this earth, he made a dua in the middle of the desert. Only him and his son Ismail ﷺ, may Allah bless them, building the Kaaba brick by brick, understanding that this house that they are building shall become the sanctuary, a holy place for all believers. They were building the house of Allah. And what dua did they make? Just imagine their feeling. Imagine what they're undergoing, carrying this task that Allah has commanded them to do. And what was the dua they had made? It is recorded in the Quran, one phrase in this dua that is so important that every single Muslim needs to know it and learn about it. While they were building the Kaaba, him and his son, Ibrahim a.s. says, رَبِّي أَجْعَلْنِي مُقِيمَ السَّلَوَاتِ مِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِي رَبَّنَا وَتَقَبَّلْ دُعَائِي. Ibrahim a.s. says, O my Lord, make me amongst those who pray. Make me amongst those who establish Allah, me and my children, O Lord, accept my supplication. While he is building the Kaaba, that shall become the qibla for salah. That shall become the direction that every believer faces when they pray. Ibrahim a.s. doesn't make the dua to say, make the people establish the prayer like me, even though he is amongst the best of people. He is Khalilullah, the friend of Allah. He doesn't say, make the people who pray amongst me. He says, make me amongst the people who pray. As if the people who pray are higher than him, even though we know that he's the leader of the people. But this shows us the status of the people who pray. He says, Oh Allah, make me amongst those who pray. And the Prophet Musa a.s., Kalimullah, the one who Allah spoke to directly on this earth. When Prophet Musa a.s. was lost in the valley of Madian, wandering him and his wife in the middle of the night, in the cold and the dark, he sees a light in the mountain, and he thinks it is a fire, so he tells his wife, let me go to this fire and perhaps get a brand with which we can see the way and warm ourselves. He climbs the mountain, and lo and behold, it is not a fire of mankind, but it is the light of Allah, speaking with him directly. Allah spoke with Musa ﷺ directly, and this is why they call him Kalimullah. And what do you think what did you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Musa? The very first commandment that he gave to Musa ﷺ. It says in the Quran, إِنَّنِي أَنَا اللَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا أَنَّ فَاعْبُدُونِي وَأَقِيمُ الصَّلَاةَ لِذِكْرِي. I am Allah. There is no deity worthy of worship except me. So worship me and establish the Salah. Remember me. The first meeting, the rules, they're laid out. They are laid out. فَاعْبُدُونِي, worship me, and establish the prayer. And Prophet Isa and his mother, Maryam, was known in Jerusalem to be from the most pious of women. Her entire dhikr, remembrance of Allah, and her ibadah was known in the community. The most pious lady. She disappears for a few days, and then she comes forth back to the city carrying a baby in her hands. So what was the response of the people? Oh Maryam, what have you done? How could you do this? You are not known for any evil. Not even your parents. How could you do this? What can she do? She points to this child saying, it is not from me. It is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I cannot say anything, but it is not what you think it is to be. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills that a miracle occurs, the likes of which mankind has never seen before. This newborn infant, he's barely a day old. This newborn infant speaks from the arms of Maryam radiallahu anha. May Allah bless her. And what do you think this baby says? Of all things that he could say, what do you think the infant Prophet Isa alayhi salam said? Isa alayhi salam says, I am a servant of Allah. Allah has granted me the wisdom and given me the book, and He has made me a prophet, and He has made me blessed wheresoever I may be, and He has commanded that I pray and give charity as long as I live. He has commanded that I pray as long as I live. And this is in Surah Maryam, 30 to 31. The baby Isa alayhi salam is speaking to us as an infant. Yeah, if you don't mind, brothers, you can move up a little bit. The baby Isa alayhi salam is speaking to us as an infant. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded me to establish the Salah as long as I live. That's what He said. How about the most beloved Prophet of Allah? The greatest human being to walk on this earth. What can we learn from his seerah, from his biography, from his blessed life about the importance of Salah? The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, his seerah tells us about the importance of prayer in many ways. But suffice for this khutbah, I will give you guys one. I'll mention one of them. Every single commandment of Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed it through the Quran or through the Prophet's statements. Is that not true or not? The Quran and the Hadith. The angel Jibril would come to the Prophet ﷺ, and he would recite to him a revelation. And just like the Jibril would come to him with a commandment to recite the Quran, to fast during the month of Ramadan, told us to go to Hajj, told us to avoid the major sins, all of this in the Quran. So the angel Jibril will come down with verses, and these verses are recited to this day. But there is one commandment, one pillar of Islam, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills that instead of sending down an angel to the Prophet ﷺ, He calls the Prophet up Himself. So important was this command, so central was this message, that no angel came down, but rather the Rasul was brought up. The Rasul ﷺ was brought up so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could speak to him directly, without any intermediaries, no angel in the middle. And that was on the blessed night of Isra al-Mi'raj. So when the Prophet ﷺ went up to the heavens, the angel Jibril, and then Jibril would tell him, I cannot go any further. You proceed forward alone, Ya Rasulullah. Even the angel Jibril, the greatest of the angels, he even said, I cannot go any further. I do not have permission. You proceed. So the beloved Prophet proceeded forth to a place where no created being had ever been before. No created being, not even the angel Jibril. And then Allah spoke with him directly. Like He had spoken with Musa alayhi salam. But in this case, it was more blessed because it was not in Mount Sinai, in the mountains, but rather in the heavens. So what do you think Allah said? What was the commandment? What was the message? Some of us may know the story. The Prophet ﷺ was told he had to instruct his ummah to pray 50 times a day. This was the message that the messenger had been brought up to had been brought up for. Why did the Rasulullah have a private audience with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? To tell us the importance of Salah, to illustrate the centrality of this pillar. No angel came down, no verses are revealed, the Prophet is brought up and he's told directly, tell your ummah they need to pray 50 times a day. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, being the obedient servant that he is, takes the commandment, comes back down. And then he meets Musa alayhi salam on his way down. And Musa alayhi salam says, what has Allah commanded you to say to your ummah? He said, and then Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, Allah has commanded my ummah to pray 50 times a day. And Musa alayhi salam said, I have experienced mankind more than you have. So if you ever learn about the story, you'll see that the prophets of the two greatest ummahs in terms of size are Muhammad ﷺ and then Musa, Banu Israel. The ummah of Prophet Muhammad would be us, and the ummah of Musa ﷺ would be Banu Israel. So Musa ﷺ is saying, I have experienced mankind more than you have. I have experience in wisdom, more experience in wisdom at that stage, and I have dealt with the Banu Israel. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was in the beginning of his message, so Musa ﷺ said, I have more experience in this matter. Your ummah will never be able to pray 50 times a day. Go back up and ask Allah. Go back up and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to lower it. To make it easier, so it begins a series of up and down, ascending and descending, where Allah would drop it from 45 to 35 to 30, to so on and so forth, until Allah Azza wa Jalla says, it will be 50, but you'll have the credit of 5. It will be 50, but you'll have the credit of 5. SubhanAllah. My laptop is turned off. I'll try to continue without the script. I think I remember most of it. So Musa alayhi salam, even though it was brought down to 5, Musa alayhi salam said, your people will not be able to handle it. Your people will not be able to handle it. And how right was Musa alayhi salam? Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he was too embarrassed and too humble to go back up. So he said he couldn't go back up. But Musa alayhi salam was right when he was saying that even 5 would not be enough. This is why paper would be better than technology sometimes. Okay, I'll use my phone. Just give me a second. And just as a reminder, my khutbah is about the importance of Salah. So as you can see, I'm giving multiple examples from different prophets to show how the Salah has been shown to be important to all of them. Here we go. Alright. So, and the Prophet ﷺ was told to tell his ummah to pray 5 times a day. So the question arises, why did Allah tell the Prophet ﷺ to pray? Why did he tell him 50 when he knew it would go down to 5? Because Allah is the most knowledgeable. He would know it would go down to 5. So remember in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I've only created man and jinn to worship me. This is one of the wisdoms of why Allah legislated 50 and brought it down to 5. The importance of prayer cannot be overemphasized. In fact, let's go back to the Quran. Never does Allah tell us to pray only. Never does He use the command word sallu, the command pray. In fact, He uses the term iqamat salah. Iqamat salah is a higher concept than just sallu. It means that you pray properly at its time, fulfilling the conditions, understanding what you're doing, with khushu' being having like full attention to your salah. Understanding the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you are reciting and understanding the meanings of the words that are coming out of your mouth. Allah never commands us just to stand up and pray. He commands us to establish the prayer, to perfect it, and to do it properly. So in fact, there's even a hadith about khushu' narrated by Abu Hurairah. I'll go ahead and read this hadith. It says, once the Prophet entered the masjid, a man came in, he offered the prayer, and he greeted the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet returned his greeting and said to him, go back and pray, because for you have not prayed. The man offered his prayer again and greeted the Prophet ﷺ, and he said to him thrice, go back and pray, for you have not prayed. The man then came back to him. By him who has sent you the truth, I do not know a better way of praying. Kindly teach me how to pray. SubhanAllah, look at the Sahaba. When they know they're doing something wrong, they go back and they ask for help. So the Prophet Muhammad responds to him by saying, when you stand up for prayer, say takbir, then recite the Quran, what you know of it, and then bow with calmness till you feel at ease. Then rise from bowing till you stand straight, afterwards prostrate calmly till you feel at ease. And then raise your head and sit with calmness till you feel at ease. And then prostrate with calmness till you feel at ease. And in prostration, and do the same for the whole of your salah. From this hadith, you need to understand that the prayer is not something that can be rushed. Not just something you follow through the actions. Salah is something that needs to be cherished and understood while you're doing it. You know, when I grew up, something my mom and my teachers used to tell me, do not pray like a bird. What does that mean? So you know the pecking bird? You know, what does it look like when it's pecking? It's going up and down like this. You know, they're telling me to slow down when you pray, to understand what you're doing. So the importance of this pillar of Islam is shown in the first year of the Prophet's message. It was legislated before the prohibition of alcohol, before the prohibition of interest, before zina, before any other commandment was legislated. The angel Jibreel, alayhi salam, comes down and he insists and he teaches the Prophet alayhi salam how to pray in the first weeks of the prophethood. He begins to pray. This is how important the prayer is. Here's another example. When you write a contract or a treaty, when you write contract, you put a condition in it, and you go ahead and break that condition, what happens? The contract becomes null and void, correct? So if you break the condition of the contract, it will dissolve. You've broken the treaty because you've put a condition, and the condition, you've broken that condition. If you want the treaty, you have to do this, this, and that, and you have to come, and if you come and disregard what is said, then there is no treaty. The contract between the two parties is null and void. So the Prophet Muhammad is saying, if you want to have a relationship with me, and if you want to call yourself a follower of my ummah, a believer in me, the condition and that treaty that I'm putting upon them is salah. Whoever leaves it, he has committed kufr and left the fold of Islam. That is why many scholars say that the Muslim who does not pray is not a Muslim. There is no difference of opinion, my brothers and sisters, if a Muslim drinks, steals, fornicates, takes drugs. That person is still a Muslim even though he has committed evil and bad deeds. He's still a Muslim. But there is no difference of opinion that if a Muslim does not pray, then they are committing an act of disbelief, kufr. The difference in opinion only comes down to if it was intentional or not. And nonetheless, this shows what separates the believer and non-believer is salah. The Sahaba consider salah so important, even Umar radiallahu anhu, amongst the people of Ashara Mubashara, has even said if a Muslim has left salah intentionally, then he has disbelieved. The thing that concerns the Sahaba radiallahu anhu, when the Rasulullah was talking about Dajjal, the signs of the end of times, and how one day of Dajjal will be like a year, what did the Sahaba say? How did they respond to that? Did they ask, how is this explained? Physically, can you explain the astronomy explaining how this is possible? No, what did they say? They said, هل تكفينا صلاة يوم? Is it enough to pray in a day? Brothers and sisters, there is no excuse leaving salah. If you don't have money, you're excused from zakat. If you're ill, you're excused from fasting and you can pay charity in place. If you don't have the financial ability or unable to travel, then Hajj is excused. But there is no situation where a Muslim is excused from salah. Even if you can't do it standing, then sit. If you cannot sit, then lay down and use your arms or your head. If your entire body is paralyzed, you can even use the movements of your eyes. When the people of Jannah ask the people of Jahannam, in the Quran it says, مَا سَلَكُكُمْ فِي سَقَرٍ? What has caused you to enter hell? The first thing that the people of hellfire say in reply, قَالُوا لَمْ نَكَ مِنَ الْمُصَلِّينَ. What did they say? They said, we used to not pray. This is the first excuse that they give. And Rasulullah he said, on the day of judgment, the first thing that will be asked of you is your salah. Alhamdulillah, salatu salam ala rasulillah. Oh my brothers and sisters, what is the excuse that you have not for praying? We make time for everything. For our studies, for playing games, for watching TV, for the internet. We have time for everything, but when it comes to salah, we don't have any time. We do not create time for the very purpose of our creation. And some people may say, oh, I do such and such sin. Until I stop it, I will not pray. I want to be a pure Muslim. Or they may even say, I've seen such and such person who lies, drinks, but they still pray. I don't want to be like him. I want to be a pure Muslim. Well, I realize, oh, brothers and sisters, that the solution to leaving off these sins is by praying. Allah says in the Quran, أَتْلُ مَا أُوحِيَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ الْكِتَابِ وَأَقِيمُ الصَّلَاةِ Recite, O Muhammad, what has been revealed to you in the book and establish prayer. إِنَّ الصَّلَاةَ تَنْهَى عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَلِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ أَكْبَرُ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ مَا تَصْنَعُونَ The prayer prohibits you from vulgarities, obscenities, and other sins. So in order to leave these evil acts, you need to establish a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you do so by establishing your salah. Oh my brothers and sisters, the importance of prayer cannot be overemphasized. It comes right after saying, La ilaha illallah, the shahada, in terms of the pillars of Islam. Yet how many of us pray 5 times a day? How many of us adhere to this command of Allah? Even the munafiqun, the hypocrites, when they were during the time of the Prophet, even they used to pray 5 times a day. And you know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about the munafiqun? إِنَّ الْمُنَافِقُونَ يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ وَهُوَ يُخَادِعُونَهُم إِذَا قَامُوا إِلَّا صَلَاةً قَامُوا كَسَالَى يُرَاءُونَ النَّاسَ وَلَا يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. Indeed, the hypocrites think to deceive Allah, but He's deceiving them. And whom they stand for prayer, and they stand lazily, showing themselves to the people and not remembering Allah except a little. Surah An-Nisa 142. Remember, time is short. Our lives will come to an end one day, and no one knows when. Therefore, when we need to make a change right here and right now. Not tomorrow, not the day after. A person will say, I'll change after the next Ramadan, or the end of the month, after Hajj. So Allah is too important to put off. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala confronts this attitude in Surah Al-Kahf. وَلَا تَقُولَنَّ لِشَيْءٍ إِنِّي فَاعِلٌ ذَلِكَ غَدًا. And never say of anything, indeed, I do that tomorrow. Right here and right now, let every Muslim decide, oh Allah, help me establish the prayer. Let him make dua of Ibrahim alayhi salam, where he says, make me amongst those who pray. Indeed, inshallah, just remember that the first step towards Allah, show that you want to pray, and Allah will open the doors and make it easy for you. Allah will guide those who seek guidance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, take 1 step towards me, I'll take 10 towards you. Walk towards me, I will run towards you. From now on, oh brothers and sisters, no excuses. From Fajr to Isha, let every Muslim promise himself or herself, I will make a change in my life. If you have a difficulty in praying on time, let me ask you just one thing. Try it for 1 week. 1 week. Establish the salah on time. And if you are capable of praying fard, then make Salah to Sunnah a habit. Because remember, the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever prayed 12 rak'ah of Sunnah has a house, not just a house, a castle built for them in Jannah. And then see that 1 week of your life, how you felt. It will be an inner joy and the peace and feeling of accomplishment. I've done something and I feel good. That feeling that you have, it will make you, it will be like an addiction to salah. And where there is a will, there's a way. When it is time to pray, you can pray anywhere, where it be Perkins, West Union, the middle, even the middle of the quad. Take the time out wherever you travel. Travel with a plan, travel with a rug, have a compass with you, have a map, schedule of the prayer times. Just plan. Plan out your day. Where will I be for Maghrib? Where will I be for Dhuhr? Where will I be for Asr? Think, and you'll plan it very simply. You'll plan it and put it very simply. Just like you plan out your food and your water, just like you plan out your class schedules, fit your prayer into your salah, into your schedule. I once saw a tweet from a friend. I'm pretty sure this is a very common saying. But he said, do not schedule your salah around your plans. Schedule your plans around salah. O Muslims, do not underestimate the prayer. I'll leave you with just one incident in the life of Prophet Muhammad that illustrates how he felt about salah. In his house, when he was in his last moments of his life, while he was in the arms of Aisha radiallahu anha, knowing that he only had a few moments to live, knowing that he will now face the angel of death, knowing that his last words he will say will be recorded as the last wasiyah, the last testament, the last advice that he will give the ummah. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, what did the Prophet say? What do you think he said in his last breath? He said, As-salah, as-salah, وَاتَّقُوا فِيمَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ. The last wasiyah that he gave, the last thing that he's thinking about to make sure his ummah understands before he leaves. As-salah, guard the prayer, and fear Allah with regards to your right hand possesses. The last wasiyah that our Prophet ﷺ was to remind us to pray. It was to remind us to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it easy for us, and makes it simple. Makes it easy for us to understand this simple yet important aspect of Islam, that He grants us the tawfiq to do so. قل آمين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تلهكم أموالكم ولا أولادكم عن ذكر الله ومن يقول ذلك فأولئك هم الخاسرون. O you who believe, let not your wealth and your children divert you from the remembrance of Allah. And whoever does that, then they are amongst the losers. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. O Allah, give us in this world which is good and the hereafter which is good, and save us from the torment of the fire. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي والمؤمنين يوما يقوم الحساب. O Allah, forgive me and my parents and all the believers on the day when the reckoning shall be established. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو عنا. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو عنا. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو عنا. O Allah, indeed you are the pardoner. You love to pardon, so pardon us. O Allah, please grant us with knowledge, especially in these times of midterms. Ameen. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا علينا إصرا كما حملت على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. صلاة المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. وأقيم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
آمين.
والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفلا سافلين إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى أن رآه استغنى إن إلى ربك الرجعى أرأيت الذي ينهى عبدا إذا سلى أرأيت إن كان على الهدى أو أمر بالتقوى أرأيت إن كذب وتولى ألم يعلم بأن الله يرى كلا لئن تنته لنسفعا ناسعة كاذبة خاطعة فليدع نادية سندع الذبانية كلا لا تطع واسجد واقترب الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله
So I want to everyone, I just want to mention that we're having in-state elections. So like if you guys are interested and want to go, let me know if you haven't gotten the link yet. The poll closes tomorrow at 12, and the election results will be out shortly after. And you'll have the new board takeover Sunday. So vote if you guys are interested.
You know, as you guys know, we also have the summit. So starting today at 6, tonight, and all day tomorrow. And so if you guys are free after Juma, if you guys come over to Philly to help set up the room for 2. Do you guys need anything else?
You're like sort of in this
Hey, what's up? How you doing? How are you? All four of us in class.